You may think that Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk are the wealthiest people in history. However, there have been numerous billionaires before them. Estimating the wealth of people born centuries ago can take time and effort. Nevertheless, by consulting the opinions of various experts, we have come up with a list of the 10 wealthiest people in history. Before anything else, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated. At number 10 on the list is William the Conqueror. Born in 1028, he became the inaugural Norman King of England. His wealth reached an estimated peak of about $230 billion. He accumulated his riches primarily through military conquests, notably in 1066, when he successfully invaded England, resulting in the tragic loss of approximately 100,000 lives. As king, he implemented significant reforms, including the abolition of slavery and the adoption of Fralish as the official language in England, as he was not proficient in English. Throughout his rule, William constructed more than 500 castles in England and Wales, establishing himself as one of the most extensive landowners in English history. Renowned for his extravagant lifestyle, he indulged in luxurious food and clothing. However, upon his death in 1087, looters swiftly stripped his body of clothes and jewelry, leaving him bare. At number 9 is Osman Ali Khan, the last ruler of the princely state of Hyderabad, India. He was widely recognized as one of the wealthiest individuals in the world during his time. His estimated fortune was around $236 billion in today's value. In 1937, he was featured on the cover of Time magazine as the world's richest person, though the Guinness Book of World Records claim of $750 billion is contested. Despite his immense wealth, Khan led a paradoxically frugal life. He possessed the Jacob diamond, the fifth largest polished diamond globally, which he used as a paperweight. He also owned the Jewels of Nizam, a collection of 173 precious items, valued at around $2 billion. Khan was known to wear the same hat for most of his life, and knit his socks despite owning a palace, a fleet of 50 Rolls-Royce vehicles, and 300 servants. He remained humble. During his rule, Khan brought significant progress to his region, introducing electricity, airplanes, and railways. He donated a substantial portion of his wealth to educational and religious institutions across India, leaving a lasting legacy. At number 8 is Nikolai Romanov. The last Tsar of Russia boasted an astounding fortune estimated at around $300 billion. Nikolai was widely perceived as a feeble and ineffective leader, despite his immense wealth. His lack of preparation for the role of Tsar was openly acknowledged, drawing criticism from historians and those within his circle. He was deemed inadequate for his position. Despite this, Nikolai indulged in a lavish lifestyle enabled by his vast wealth. His annual income, a significant 200,000 rubles, was augmented with an additional 20,000 rubles for personal expenses, far surpassing the earnings of high-ranking generals. He spent extravagantly on custom-made clothing, military uniforms, jewelry, and his fondness for grand events. His coronation had massive amounts of silver and gold tableware and extravagant musical performances. Nikolai hosted lavish parties and distributed expensive souvenirs. His luxurious lifestyle extended to his daily routines and trips, maintaining an extensive kitchen staff, expensive meals, and hunting expeditions with a crew of 50 members, including painters, to capture scenes. His annual hunting budget alone equaled the combined earnings of hundreds of school teachers. At number 7 is Andrew Carnegie. He was a self-made tycoon in the American steel industry and rose from humble beginnings as a telegraph messenger and factory worker. He became the superintendent of the Western Division of Pennsylvania Railroad at 24, delving into business and investments, especially in post-Civil War railroads. His ventures led to the creation of the Carnegie Steel Company, later sold to J.P. Morgan for a record-breaking $13 billion. Carnegie's wealth reached $309 billion. He also believed the wealthy had an obligation to give back, as outlined in his influential work, The Gospel of Wealth. Carnegie donated $4.8 billion to charitable causes during his lifetime and continued his legacy by leaving most of his wealth for philanthropy after his death. At number 6, Jacob Fugger. He amassed a fortune of around $400 billion. His family's wealth began with the textile trade, but Jacob expanded it through mining ventures in silver, quicksilver, copper, and cinnabar. His diverse investments, spanning various industries, proved highly successful. He even lent money to the Vatican, contributing significantly to the construction of buildings like the Sistine Chapel. Fugger indulged in lavish purchases, including jewelry and luxurious homes. His residence was a grand four-story Renaissance building with abundant features. Fugger was also a notable philanthropist, establishing Fugger, the world's first low-income housing program, offering homes to families in need at a symbolic annual rent of 1 guilder. At number 5 is John D. Rockefeller. The oil industry magnate possessed a fortune of roughly $400 billion, making him the richest American in history. Rockefeller's name is synonymous with the oil industry, as he founded the Standard Oil Company in 1870, which rapidly became immensely valuable, controlling 90% of the U.S. oil market at its zenith. His wealth accounted for 2% of the entire national economy. With his immense riches, Rockefeller led a life of luxury, owning various residences, notably the 40-room Wheat House with stunning views of New York City. This mansion housed extensive collections of Chinese ceramics and 20th-century art. It was part of the vast Pocantico estate, covering 3,510 acres and featuring 75 houses, 70 roads, private golf courses, swimming pools, tennis courts, a bowling alley, billiard halls, and even its farm and gardens. While Rockefeller was not universally liked, he increased his philanthropic efforts over time, committing to donating 10% of his income annually to charitable causes. At number 4 is Akbar the Great. In the 1500s, he ruled a vast empire, estimated to be worth around $500 billion, possibly even more. As the ruler of the Mughal Empire, he significantly expanded his dominion from India to northern Afghanistan, tripling its size. His religious tolerance, a rarity in his time, set Akbar apart. Despite being Muslim, he had Hindu advisors and city leaders, actively promoting unity between the two religions and allowing freedom of belief. Akbar was personally involved in translating Hindu literature and participated in Hindu festivals. Though specific details about his extravagant spending are limited, it's known that Akbar lived in luxury. His empire controlled 25% of the world's GDP for years. His palace was renowned for its exquisite carvings, intricate paintings, and rare furniture, showcasing his reign's immense wealth and grandeur. Number 3 is Augustus Caesar. He is the heir of Julius Caesar and is considered the only confirmed trillionaire in history. He owned a fifth of the wealth of the Roman Empire, amounting to around $4.3 trillion, which accounted for 30% of the world's GDP at the time. His wealth came from inheriting 75% of Julius Caesar's riches. Augustus further accumulated wealth through bequests from affluent families seeking political favor. During his 40-year reign, he doubled the size of the Roman Empire, introducing modern infrastructure such as a standing army, police and fire services, a courier system, and roads. Augustus lived in the opulent House of Augustus, featuring rooms adorned with art and weapons, mosaics covering the floors and frescoes on the walls. His reign ushered in a 200-year era of peace and prosperity in the Roman Empire, leaving a lasting legacy. His famous statement upon his death, "I found Rome of clay, I leave it to you of marble," captures the transformation he brought to the city. At number 2 is Emperor Shen of Song, who ruled China from 1067 to 1085. His reign coincided with a prosperous era in China, marked by significant advancements and innovations. Under his rule, China became a leading producer of bronzeware, and introducing policies granting farmers the right to own land led to a surge in rice production. The Song dynasty pioneered inventions such as gunpowder, printing, and magnetic compasses, laying the foundation for future technological progress. Moreover, Emperor Shenzong implemented the world's first paper money and established the first navy, safeguarding trade routes and protecting valuable products. Emperor Shenzong's economic control was unprecedented, managing around 30% of the global GDP due to his highly centralized economy. His immense wealth, estimated in the trillions of dollars, was derived from innovative practices such as increased tax collection, a strategy not adopted by European governments for centuries. Despite his wealth and power, Shenzong was remarkably generous. He implemented progressive policies akin to a rudimentary welfare system, significantly improving the lives of the unemployed, homeless, and peasants within his realm. At the top spot of the wealthiest person in history is Manam Musa. He was the ruler of the Mali Empire during the early 1300s. He controlled a vast fortune almost incomprehensible to modern historians. He rode across Africa on zebras, laden with thousands of pounds of gold. Under his rule, Mali became the world's largest producer of gold and salt, critical commodities of the time. Mansa Musa's legendary pilgrimage to Mecca indeed unveiled his extraordinary wealth. Accompanied by tens of thousands of soldiers, enslaved people and heralds, he traversed 4,000 miles, lavishly spending and bestowing gold as gifts. His generosity, however, caused economic challenges, depreciating the value of metal in cities like Cairo and Mecca, taking years to recover financially. Despite his opulence, Mansa Musa's legacy isn't just his wealth. He was also a devout leader, funding mosques, palaces, and universities. Following Mansa Musa's death, the Mali Empire faced continuous civil wars, leading to its decline. Weakened by internal strife, it eventually succumbed to European invasions in the 1600s. However, Mansa Musa's legacy endured beyond his empire's fall. He is remembered as a symbol of prosperity and generosity, his pilgrimage leaving a trail of awe and wonder, while his contributions to education, evident in the Sankore Madrasa, cement his place in history as a beacon of wealth, wisdom, and benevolence. It is incredible to know that this kind of wealth existed even before. Do you know any more wealthy historical figures? Share their stories in the comment section. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay updated.